tonight! With your guests, Mark Miller! Put up, Edward! With musical guests, the Dead Moms Club! And now, put your hands together for your host, Nikki Toni!
Thank you, Baltimore. Welcome to Hampden tonight. Ding dong, the witch is dead. I am referring, of course, to the Honorable Supreme Court Justice Hampden Scalia. All turds must eventually be flushed, and earlier this week, Justice Scalia was found dead at the bloated age of 72 years. Early reports say that Justice Scalia died peacefully in his sleep. Peacefully in his sleep. That must mean he was dreaming about whipping homosexuals until they curled up in a bloody fetal position at his feet. Interestingly, that's also what I dream about when I'm sleeping peacefully. It's amazing how we all live the same basic life. President Obama has quickly announced his nomination for Scalia's replacement. In an ultimate display of not giving a hoot, Obama nominated the lady who pooped on the rug during VH1's Flavor of Love Season 1. This, of course, is a national embarrassment, a disgrace to the judicial process, and still a better choice than Antonin Scalia. In other political news, Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders won the New Hampshire primaries. Now, I'm a big believer that the President of the United States should be good-looking, which of course disqualifies Mr. Trump. I'm not merely talking about his infamous hairdo. Donald Trump's face looks like a genital wart that I burned off of George Michael in 1994. Now Bernie Sanders, he looks like an adorable Jewish grandpa. Adorable from the waist up. Bernie Sanders' nutsack looks like a ball of cotton candy rolled around in lint for 3 hours. And as much as I love cotton candy, that's something that I would pass at the state fair. Now, in science news, researchers have recently discovered gravitational waves, which prove true Einstein's theories from the early 20th century. And the thing about gravitational waves, well, the thing about gravitational, let's just be real here. I'm Nikki Toni. You've all been following Saturday Night Elation. You know what happened to me. On the 4th of July, I was murdered by a giant autistic bird, at which point I ascended not to heaven, descended not to hell, but was suspended indefinitely in the trans-dimensional realm, where I participated in a celestial threesome with an angel and a demon, engaging in every sexual position known to man, and some unfathomable by the human brain, at which point I was resurrected on the stage at Saturday Night Elation, pregnant with the Antichrist. And I would just like to send a message to everyone out there telling me that I need to abort the Antichrist. I will not have an abortion. Do you hear me? I will not have an abortion. The last time that I had a vacuum cleaner up my ass, I was huffing amyl nitrates with Justin Bieber's Gorilla. And you know how that night ended? It ended with me filling a super soaker full of Lysol so that I could clean feces off a skylight. In international news, by the name of Gavin Latulip was recently discovered after a 30-year absence, at which point he recovered from his amnesia. Gavin Latulip, what a fairy that guy must have been. Our sources speculate that he originally went missing after taking too much acid at a Culture Club concert. Upon discovering that his actual identity was a Canadian named Gavin Latulip, he asked for his amnesia back. Should I tell another abortion joke? All right, I have a couple minutes left. my friend into having an abortion. She wanted to have an abortion. She was just concerned she'd be committing murder. I said, "Sweetheart, you're African American and the fetus hasn't developed limbs yet." She said, "African American hasn't developed limbs? What does that all mean?" I said, "It means that the baby is black and unarmed. So just find a police officer and they'll murder your baby for you." And the other day, I told my therapist that I was a pansexual. He said, "Pansexual? How, Nikki? How does one have sex with a frying pan?" I said, "Well, doctor, the technique really depends on what you're cooking that day." He said, "Nikki, are you telling me that you've engaged in food fetish intercourse?" I said, "Yes, doctor, food fetish sex is exquisite. In fact, one time, I had vegetable sex with a full hermaphrodite in an Applebee's restroom. He put an ear of corn in his own vagina while we both masturbated into mashed potatoes. He made me promise that I would never tell a soul about it. But I think it's okay to tell the story as long as I don't say what his name was." Okay, fine, it was Glenn Beck! It was Glenn Beck, everybody! Glenn Beck loves an ear of corn in his vagina. And finally, I would like to send a message out to ISIS. I know you're watching me, ISIS, and I'm not scared of you. I spent 5 years living amongst the cannibal natives of Papua New Guinea. And in Papua New Guinea, we don't just behead our enemies, we behead our friends. They called me the praying mantis because I cut the heads off my sexual partners. One time, I beheaded my best friend, made his brains into a hamburger, and fucked the leftovers all night long. You know what the best part was? When I sold the recipe to Arby's! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show tonight. We're going to discuss all of the relevant issues. We're going to talk about anal prolapse. We're going to talk about the CAW. We're going to talk about our votes for the president. And we're going to talk about anything else that floats our boat. Those are all my jokes. I went through the whole catalog.
All right. And now for a commercial. And now, a brief word from our sponsors, New Horizon Enterprises, a desperate, desperate company.
Hey guys, we're New Horizons Enterprises. I'm Ben.
And I'm Al.
And we're here to help you guys get your maximum workouts in. You say you want protein, you want whey protein? Well, we have something better. I want to talk to you today about Jesus. We're pressing his new product. It's called Yah-Whey. Yah-Whey protein.
What is it?
It's called Yah-Whey protein. It's wholly transubstantiated protein that will make you immaculately jacked.
No way.
Yah-Whey.
Oh my gosh. Has your mom ever wanted you to join Christian Mingle, but you don't read good? I think you should just use Yah-Whey, or better yet, find a boyfriend who uses Yah-Whey, and then you can get married and have babies like you're supposed to, because that's all you're good for.
No way.
Yah-Whey.
Yah-Whey.
Welcome back to Hampden tonight. The first guest that will be joining me is a staple in the local Baltimore stand-up comedy scene. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for Mr. Mark Miller. Thank you for joining me, Mark. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good.
So, let's start with the topic that's on most people's minds. Was Beyonce's Super Bowl performance racist towards white people?
I didn't see it.
Didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Nope.
Now, Mark, do you believe that everything in life is predestined, or do you believe that man has free will?
I believe in free will.
Very good answer. You're a local stand-up comedian. When did you realize that you were an artist?
I've been an artist my whole life, I think. Yeah, that's my answer.
Well, when you were in elementary school, when I was in elementary school, I used to doodle in the margins. You know, the teacher would be giving us math problems. It could be very basic. When we were in 2nd grade, it was more of the addition and subtraction. When I made it to Algebra 1, they started introducing letters along with the numbers, but nevertheless, I would doodle in the margins. Sometimes I would draw men with penises, sometimes I would draw men with vaginas. What did you doodle in the margins, Mark Miller?
Mostly like squiggles, and, like cubes and things like that. It's trees sometimes, birds. I really like drawing birds. And hey, look, it's Blast from the Past. Remember this? You guys remember when this happened?
Oh, what?
I'm gonna get in on that. Remember that when my parents started? Look at that. See that? I realized that I could watch this in real time, and then there's like a big delay. So I would comment. I should have done this more. I'll keep doing it afterwards. I can comment like in real time on what's happening in this video, and then I seem psychic.
I didn't follow that.
It's okay.
Mark Miller, you got into some hot water last year over a controversial stand-up piece that you did concerning people's outfits in post-apocalyptic times.
Did I get in hot water over that?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Who was the blogger that was upset with me?
It wasn't a blogger.
What was the source of the hot water?
It was my friend Rick. He said that you were a jerk. You asserted.
I don't know who Rick is.
Do you still maintain that in post-apocalyptic times, people will not wear leather jackets with metal spikes on it?
I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying it's a bad idea. I mean, polyester is dishwasher safe. You know, I mean, like when this thing's polyester, when it gets dirty, I just lay it out and let the cat lick it clean. But you know, I mean, it's just simple. Like leather, you put that, you know, like it doesn't breathe, right? Polyester breathes. Leather doesn't.
What do you anticipate will be the nature of the apocalypse? Famous poet William Burroughs once said, it could be fire or it could be ice. Which side of the fence are you on, Mark Miller?
I think that Dorn is gonna like get their battle together and really fuck things up in Westeros. I don't really think it's going to be the ice or the fire. I mean, I know that it's the song of ice and fire, but I think it's going to be those Dornishmen, which I guess they're sons, so I guess fire. But it's not going to be Khaleesi.
We're moving on to the lightning round. 5-second answers. Anal prolapse, yay or nay?
Nay.
White supremacy, yay or nay?
Nay.
Brazilian waxing for otters, yay or nay? That was a trick question, nobody asked. You're the creator of a very special episode. Would you like to tell the audience what exactly makes the episode special?
The very special episode started when I was hanging out with Keith about a year ago, and we were talking about. Okay, I'm just going to skip all those details. I was hanging out with Keith. Props to Keith on that. And I was thinking about how it'd be cool to just to do like a TV show on stage, and then it kind of just evolved into like, let's take the very special episodes that are huge concern to us all, like when on Different Strokes when they met the child molester, or on the one a lot of people talk about is the Saved by the Bell, where Jesse gets on pills. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. So the idea was to take all those, and you guys remember, like when we were kids, there's like a very special episode to watch with the whole family, and they'd take some like stupid, intense issue and try and like cram it into a sitcom.
Into a sitcom, and then they have a message at the end.
Yeah, so
my guy gave me one of these. Incidentally, it is my technique for anal prolapse, but he's also signaling the end of the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to have Mark Miller.
February 20th, this Saturday. Come on down, we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you're feeling pretty fucking proud of yourself, aren't you?
I do, I'm happy about it.
You drank my belt!
I did, your championship wrestling belt. I drank it. You melted it down into molten metal and I drank it. Because I'm a champion. I will be a champion.
If I hadn't melted it down, would you have just eaten it raw?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a liquid. I gotta see if it's still in you somewhere. So
I feel great. It was made of Dankonium. Dankonium is the strongest metal known to man. Not even known, it's known to man, but they've never seen it because it's out there in the universe. And it was in the belt, and I believe that it's going to give me superpowers, and I'm going to win the title belt.
Well, I've got to
So,
see
you melted your belt, you screwed it up, I drank it. I drank molten metal. What is that thing?
Well, I've got to see if your dumbass has sweated it out yet. So this is the Dankometer. I'm just going to see if it's somewhere still in your body.
I don't know. I don't feel anything.
Whoa. Yep. Left calf.
What?
Always goes to the left calf.
Where?
I'm getting a Dankometer reading of 84 bros. That is like an almost lethal amount of bros.
84 bros, so it's in my calf muscle?
Hopefully it'll stay there. Hopefully it's not metastasizing all over your body. But,
Metastasizing? What do you mean, dude?
well, I didn't want to break this to you, but there is a risk of Dankonium poisoning.
Dankonium poisoning?
It's like nickel poisoning when you eat a bunch of nickels, but Dankonium.
You've eaten nickels?
What I do in my private life is none of your concern.
Okay, alright. It's just that nickel isn't very powerful. It's
I'm an
Dankonium.
adjunct. I can't afford anything more wealthy than a nickel, and how I spend my time. I need to see if you're sick, alright?
Okay, I feel fine.
You feel fine?
No, I feel great.
I'm going to list a few of the symptoms for Dankonium poisoning.
Okay.
To see if anything rings
Symptoms, sure. Have at it.
Club foot, constant sweaty tongue, head patting-itis, wandering eye, let's see, loss of balance, constant yodeling is a big...
I'm scared!
Just a panache for telling true things to random strangers.
A what?
Just you have to tell everyone the truth all the time. It comes out of you.
I thought you said a panache.
And
I don't like German food.
And inability to know what the word panache means. That's and just an attraction to brick. And you need to say what material is made out of when you feel it.
Wood. Brick.
And
rock.
Inability to know what materials are.
Brick rock. Rock bricks.
Sudden dick fall offness.
Yeah!
Now these might not all happen right away.
Wait, but I feel all of them right now.
Oh, and hypochondria. Big one, hypochondria. It's just...
I definitely do. What is that? I think I have that. I was on WebMD the other day, dude. I think I have that. It's from the Dankonium?
You know...
Dude, you can die from hypochondria! What do I do?
I can make everything better.
Yeah?
There are some gentlemen in a van out back from Libya.
Find them! Tell me! Please! Please! I don't want to die! I can't stop patting my head!
They just want the Dankonium. You don't want the Dankonium in you. I say we facilitate a trade.
What do we do? Okay. Alright, what?
So I'm not technically what you would call a medical doctor, but I have scalpels.
So, what are you doing with that?
I want you to count
scary.
backwards from 10 and think of your favorite show tune. Oklahoma's a popular one.
9. Oklahoma was a popular one. You're not going to cut my leg. I
No,
can't.
of course not. Look, a pony.
Ah!
That was Professor Payne and Private Hummer, 2 losers who will be crushed under the soles of my feet in the CAW. I am happy for Private Hummer, though. He's been a much different person since the military repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I would like to bring up our next guest, another Baltimore local. I'm not exactly sure who or what he is, but ladies and gentlemen, Cornflake! Woo! Welcome to the show, Cornflake.
Hi, thank you. I'm honored.
Let's just start slow.
Okay.
What is the meaning of life?
Oh Jesus. Whoa, that's a Freudian slip. So I used to be a pretty hardcore Christian. Gonna be ambiguous as to whether I still am, because you know. But what is the meaning of life? I do not know.
I was at one point a hardcore Christian myself, but I never renounced homosexuality. All these fake Christians want to say that God condemns anal sex, but the only passage they can point to is Leviticus 22:17. That says a man shall not lie with another man. It doesn't say anything about standing up, leaning against a tree, bent over the arm of a couch, or in a hot tub with George Michael. Cornflake, what do you think about the possibility of time travel?
I think about it a lot, actually. I think that a lot of things that might be impossible physically are helpful to imagine, for reasons. I don't know.
For reasons?
Yeah.
Let me dissect what you just said.
Please
a lot
do.
of things that are impossible physically,
Yet.
that are yet impossible physically,
I think so.
are useful to imagine.
Yeah.
So if you could time travel to any time, present or future, or past,
I feel pretty content right now.
you feel pretty content.
Yeah. See, that's what, I mean, contentness is a goal for a lot of people. And if you imagine trying to travel somewhere in time and you're just too lazy to think of anything, then you can say, oh, I'm really content with the present moment. And then suddenly you've achieved this goal that many people strive for. So imagining being somewhere else and then realizing you don't really care can be helpful. So that's, I don't know, that's one example. Do you accept it?
I accept your premise. I would like to know in more specific detail how you went from being a hardcore Christian to some sort of pseudo-Zen Buddha sitting here at Hampden tonight.
Okay, so your question then is...
Your fallout with the church.
My fallout with so I don't defriend anybody on Facebook, so everybody from that church is on Facebook, and they all know me, and so I don't usually talk about this kind of thing. But you want to know my life story and how it kind of just transitioned?
Your fallout from the church.
Yes. Okay, so essentially I went to a Christian college for many strange reasons, but I did for 2 years. And I found that the more I thought in Christian terms, the worse my Christian answers were for things. And conversely, when I just forgot all about Christianity completely and all the vocab that people use for that and whatever, and just kind of solved the problem in my head, then if people asked me a Christian question, I could translate it into like non-Christianese, think about it, and then come to a conclusion, then translate it back into Christianese, and people were like, wow, he's really in tap with the Holy Spirit. He's really in touch with God there. His answer made so much sublime sense. God must be really talking to this guy.
So what you're saying is, your Christian contemporaries who were absorbed in doctrine needed to go to you, someone who was thinking outside of doctrine, to answer their questions, at which point they assumed that you must have been a master of doctrine, when in fact you were just thinking independently within the confines of the Christian college.
Yeah, I just found that doctrine wasn't helpful for the doctrine itself. So it was constantly taking things from other places, reappropriating them, and then building on itself and pretending to be consistent. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it perfectly. Maybe.
Very good. Now, Cornflake, so I don't want to put any of my other guests on blast, but I feel like some of Mark Miller's answers were lacking. Cornflake,
Yes.
Was Beyonce's performance racist against white people? I would like to point out for our radio listeners that both of my guests are in fact white, to the degree that if I really need to be wearing sunglasses right now because I can't actually see them. I'm just kind of smelling. But Cornflake, Beyonce, was it racist to white people?
I didn't watch it.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I really didn't watch it.
What were you doing Sunday?
Instead?
What were you doing Super Bowl Sunday instead of watching the halftime show?
Hanging out with a friend, honestly. I think that's what I was doing. I could look at my calendar.
So what you're saying is you keep on you a calendar record of the previous...
It is!
You're saying you keep on record a calendar of the previous month.
Yeah, it actually goes back really far. It's the 21st century, right?
Well, I mean, that's all made up. If you're going by the Chinese calendar, it's something else.
That's an excellent point, yeah. Yeah, so in the common era, it's called like the 21st century, whatever. I have a smartphone and I keep a calendar on it that's digital. And so when I put something on that calendar, it stays there. And it doesn't take up more space in my pocket, really. So there's just all kinds of shit in there. All kinds of details and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know, does that answer it?
So your basic premise is that in the 21st century, our concept of space is a mental construct such that one could fill mental and digital space to an enormous degree, all while still confined in the pocket of their pants.
Yes, in the personal computer.
It's been truly enlightening. Okay, easy there. I would like to bring it back to our announcer who will tell us what's about to happen.
We pause now for another commercial break from, as I said, the incredibly desperate sponsors of ours, New Horizons Enterprises.
Hey guys, so a lawyer called and was like, you can't sell them something without saying the side effects.
No
oh my
way.
God. Yah-Whey, right? I was like, huh. So I wish, when I went on dates with guys, they would tell me the same thing, right? I mean, like chlamydia, crabs. Anyway, so using Yah-Whey can cause many things, such like buoyancy.
Other things like telling your sins to a stranger in a closet.
Oh, also, like, you might come across a lot of like bread and fish places, and you didn't notice them before, but people say you're making it. It's so weird.
Yeah, and you might turn on the faucet to get a glass of water and get fucked up.
Yeah, and so 12 people might follow you places, and you don't really know who they are, but they seem really nice, and they always want to eat meals with you.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And you know that friend that just died and you were talking shit about him? He might wake up. So call the next 10 minutes and you can get 10% off your order of Yah-Whey!
Yeah.
Buy our products. At this point in time, I would like to introduce our musical guest. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Dead Moms Club.
Ready?
Everyone else thinks it sucks when your mom's dead. But we made a club with a secret